In the 1970s, the state of New Jersey was going through a landfill crisis. They had run out of space for garbage, and they had to look for other places to store their garbage, such as out-of-state landfills. Things got so bad, states such as Pennsylvania rejected New Jersey's garbage. They wanted nothing to do with it as they had their own garbage issues. The state of New Jersey had to quickly come up with a new plan. They proposed building waste-to-energy incinerators in 21 counties around the state. Each of these counties would be responsible in developing their own solid waste management plan. The plan would have to be approved by the Commissioner of the Department of Environmental Protection before being put to action. Counties such as Camden were part of the waste management plan. Multiple incinerators in Camden County were originally planned to be built, including one in the city of Camden. At the same time, the city of Camden was going through its own crisis. Companies such as Campbell's Soup and RCA Victor were no longer interested in having the company based in Camden due to an industrial decline and decided to move elsewhere. Furthermore, many of Camden's citizens, specifically white people, were moving out, desiring to live in the suburbs as they were able to afford it. This left the city of Camden in a weird economic situation. But suddenly, things would turn around in Camden. A new person would come into the picture, the man who would help shape Camden's future, Randy Primas. Randy Primas was the newly elected mayor of Camden. He believed that a waste-to-energy incinerator would bring financial stability and would help revitalize the city. Unfortunately, the people of Camden were not in favor of the mayor's plans. They objected to the idea of having an incinerator in their backyard for environmental and social reasons. Environmental groups such as Citizens Against the Incinerator, Stop All Incineration Now, Clean Water Action, and Grassroots Environmental Organization Task Force were all involved in trying to stop the incinerator's usage. They all believed there were better ways in handling solid waste besides using an incinerator that would create toxic ash. The groups were aware of the toxic ashes the incinerator's emissions would have on the city's air. They knew it would impact the citizens' health and could possibly cause diseases such as asthma, heart disease, and cancer. They tried to get the attention of politicians about it, but they were ignored. State officials did respond by saying there was nothing to fear as the incinerator would do very little harm. What's interesting is that there was assistance from the state government's Department of Environmental Protection in helping monitor toxic emissions. The DEP had full control of all incinerator companies' emission limits, and yet it did not stop the incinerator from being built. The environmental groups did everything they could to stop the Camden's incinerator's plans, from protesting in front of New Jersey Governor Keene's house to protesters chaining themselves in front of the construction sites. The protesters were not going to stop until they got their voices heard. Luckily, 3 of the 4 proposed incinerators in Camden County were scrapped, but unfortunately the city of Camden's incinerator opened for business. The reason why the other incinerators got canceled was because of economic and environmental reasons. Pennsauken, the town next over from Camden, canceled its incinerator because town officials believed that it would cost too much money to maintain and it would pollute the air and water. This is something that Camden city government failed to acknowledge, and it would cost the lives of its own citizens. It's been more than 30 years since the facility has opened. It's still operating, still polluting. There are people in Camden fighting for clean air, something that they have been demanding since the very start. However, the city government of Camden has no plans to shut it down. They are more worried about redeveloping their waterfront than worrying about the community.